The meta model explained. The meta model is a very powerful, very versatile, potentially deadly linguistic tool. And in this video, you are going to learn all about it. The meta model is basically the WH questions plus the word specifically or exactly. The WH questions are who, what, where, when, why, and sometimes how. So meta model questions are what specifically, who specifically, when specifically, why specifically, which specifically, how specifically. The trick is knowing when and how to use these questions. Most of the time we speak using very vague language. For example, suppose you asked me what I had for dinner last night and I said chicken. That's pretty vague and general, but it's also perfectly fine for the context of a regular everyday conversation. If I described to you everything I did to cook and eat dinner in extreme detail, you would want to avoid me forevermore. On the flip side, if I told you I ate chicken for dinner last night and you started firing all kinds of meta model questions at me, I would want to avoid you forevermore. What kind of chicken specifically? How did you cook the chicken specifically? How often do you eat chicken specifically? How many times did you chew per bite specifically? What else did you eat specifically? Who did you eat it with specifically? If you want to get somebody really angry with you, start asking random meta model questions when they're having an otherwise normal conversation. However, the meta model can be absolutely vicious when destroying the opinion of somebody you don't like. The general go-to response whenever we hear an opinion that we don't like is to offer an equal and opposite opinion to battle their opinion. This can easily lead to an opinion cage fight for which there is no winner, but you can easily obliterate any opinion by firing a bunch of meta model questions at the opinion. I think candidate X is better than candidate Z. Why specifically? How specifically did you come to that conclusion? How long specifically have you believed that? Who specifically did you get that idea from? What are your reasons specifically? The reason that the meta model is such a versatile and potentially vicious tool is that no matter how they answer those questions, all you need to do is just to keep firing meta model questions at whatever answers they come up with. Well, he's better for the economy. Why specifically? What specifically are the things that he'll do to improve the economy? How long specifically will it take those ideas to work? Where specifically did he get those ideas from? What specifically are their credentials? Where specifically did he study economics? How accurate specifically are their economic models? Another way you can use the meta model is when verifying and getting more information about instructions given to you by a boss or superior. If you aren't sure, just fire off enough meta model questions until you are sure. Another way to use the meta model is if you happen to be in an argument with a spouse or a loved one and you suspect that they are warming up to blame you for whatever problem they are describing. Granted, this will probably make the problem worse, but if you remain calm and ask simple meta model questions, you can avoid being blamed for the problem. Why specifically is it my fault? What specifically should I have done to alleviate this problem? How specifically was I supposed to know that you felt this way? When specifically should I have done something different? Why specifically didn't you bring this up earlier? Another much more pleasant way to use the meta model is by helping other people figure out what they want. In this case, it's much better to use the meta model as an internal guide upon which you can base your questions to help them figure out what they want. For example, let's say you and a friend are going to see a movie and you're okay with letting them choose, but they're not quite sure what kind of movie they want to see. If you just straight up asked, what specifically do you want to see? They probably won't know the answer. But if you think of that question, what specifically kind of movie do you want to see, as an internal guide, you can help lead them to a more clear answer. Just keep throwing out options until you get a clearer picture of the kind of movie that they'd like to see. Comedy or drama? Big budget or small budget? A-list actors or unknown actors? Oftentimes, you'll only need to ask a few of these option questions to help them get a better idea of what they really want. Generally speaking, when pulling ideas out of other people's heads, use the meta model as an internal guide to help you help them get clearer on what they want. But when you absolutely want to obliterate the ideas that are inside other people's heads, then use the meta model as blatantly and overtly as you possibly can. Using the meta model as an internal guide to help other people get clearer on what they want will be very pleasant for the both of you and will win you a lot of fans and admirers. Using the meta model overtly to destroy opinions won't make you any friends, but it will keep you out of opinion cage fights and will help you to stop being bothered by belligerent propagandists. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like, and comment. To learn more, please visit mindpersuasion.com.